When Jesus gives you a command, there's a promise inside it. Here's today's text in Luke chapter 5. And when he finished speaking, he said to Simon, "Put out into the deep and let down your nets for a catch." Had any all-nighters recently? If you've ever had to stay up with a sick child, or cram for a final, or just suffered with a bout of insomnia, you can attest that all-nighters are no fun. A sleepless night leaves you not only exhausted, but also irritable and sometimes despairing. Simon Peter and his business partners had just pulled an all-nighter, and worse, they had nothing to show for it. They're washing their nets by the shore when Jesus co-opted Peter's boat as a mobile pulpit. And after he taught, the Lord told Simon to put out his nets in the deep for a catch. And what had Peter been doing all night? Well, toss the net in, bring it up empty. Toss the net in, bring it up empty. Toss the net in, bring it up empty. And into that emptiness, exhaustion and futility, Christ spoke. It wasn't an option. Peter, if you feel like it, you could, only if you really want to. Try your nets one more time. No, Jesus gave a direct command. Why did Peter cast the nets one more time? Raw obedience. Because you say so, the text says. And when they caught so many fish that the nets were beginning to break, Jesus wasn't surprised, but Simon Peter melted in awe of the presence of a holy God. Peter had something to learn that I first learned from my friend Dudley Hall. The commands of God are the promises of God. If God says catch fish, then He's promising you a boatload of fish. If God says love your neighbor, then God's promising that He'll give you love to share. If God tells you to forgive, then God is promising you to give, because mercy runs deep. Once you graduate from the legalism of merit-based living and embrace the purity of the gospel, you find that God's commands mean something entirely different to you. The command of God isn't an opportunity for you to fail and be punished. The command of God is an opportunity for you to lay hold of God's promises. In fact, the more I walk in grace, the more I want to get a command from God. If He tells you something to do, He's going to enable you to do it by His grace. And that's the gospel. That's today's good news, and you get more messages like it by clicking right here. Better yet, you can subscribe to this channel, get them all. Hope you have a great, great day, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow.